Hi, I'm Moyer. Welcome to this video. On this video, I'm going to use the Java Compute Node. So Java Compute is similar to Compute Node. There's also Java coding, so that the Compute Node that enable us to manipulate data transformation and enrichment the message. Also, we could use the Java programming language, do whatever that the Compute Node does. Sometimes Java do more even than Compute Node. Sometimes the Compute Node do like is depend of the scenario where you use it, but they are like a equally capable language to anything. Like they could transfer any message to any format for you. They could enrich the data. But you guys already know Java is a very powerful language. So in order to work with a Java, we just go to a Java transformation. There's a Java Compute Node, and they're asking you the package name, the name. Let's say give them any package and package name, and we inherit our message from the IBM Java Compute Node. We extend it from right here. Our super class is right here. This is our sub class become. We create those options. You could pick as your need is to modify. I will re-explain those one, but right now let's go in it and you will see it. Those just like you could click and they're telling you the explanation. The user want to change the part of the incoming message, but I want to create it from scratch. I want to pick that create message class from a scratch and say next and pick next and give them the name of your project, and because this is our project, is a Java application, and finish. That become your like a Compute Node. So before we learn that IBM default code, what is this does, I wanna go over some classes, and also I wanna go over some method like getter and setter, and also I wanna go on a property, because it is better to explain it on a simple Java, to explain it right here and go over it, because if I tell you getter and not to give you a good example, is hard to get it. And they use also as an object, as they pass the object as argument, then they reference it right here, so that way get reference to getter. So let me explain it how we does the stuff, like how should we reference our object, how should we pass the object as argument to the method, like how should we inherit. You see, we create a class message through Java Compute 1. When you use a extend word, we inherit our super class. This is our super class, this is our subclass. How should we do that one on a basic Java? And you will, once you do that, once I explain all type of Java class, I'm sure you will understand how they create such a structure, Java structure right here, and why they created, and also you will get the answer. So let's start it. So this is the Eclipse. Make sure you use the Eclipse or another one. I have a package, I named it Moyer. I create the one package. You could create and I named it Moyer. You could name them anything and click create a class, any class you could want to create. First I want to create the and call them the main, just that way you see what does. This is the main. I want to add, you could pick the option, say public, and also say I want to, on the main one, I want to add a static void main option to it. Just say finish. This become my main function. So this is my main function, and now I want to create another class, name them a core. Make sure your class name must start with a capital letter, and this is my package we use as like a folder, like for the naming confliction. So let's say I want to create another class with the same name. You cannot create it in the same package. You must create a different package, then you could able to create it. For this time we do not want to create the main public static method to it, so we're gonna move just a class. We create a class, name them core, and this would have a few property. I will call them the first property model, year, and the stuff. So make sure you guys know all the basic Java. Let's say how should we comment thing, and let's say I want to add instance. That would be the instance of my method. So over this is my instance of variable. The spelling is wrong. You know, not to worry. So word spell is not correctly spelled. Change it to variable. You could give it that option to change it. First one, I want to create something. I want to create the make. Some are Toyota, some is a Tesla. Oh, and also I want to create the model. I want to create this class has a two property, two variable, basically two property. One is a make and second is a model. And if you want to add more to it, you could add. Let's add one integer also here. You could add. So you could add more whatever you like. So this is our variable. That way we declare a class. We have like 4 variable, model, year, and those stuff. And one thing, if I want to declare this class, use this property, we could do that. First we need to create the instance of this class right here. Let's go right here back. So first, because it is on our package, first we will create the instance, the object of this class. Let's say my car equal to new, and this is the default construction. And that's why even I will tell you what is construction. Constructor. The constructor, the default constructor, even we did not create it, the Java is already created one for us. So that way we create the instance right now we're using right now. But if you want to print something, say sys out and say print my car, and let's say print what this will print the object of my car. See, this is the object of my car they printed for me, but I want to print the property of that. So that way when you using the class, then you just reference it. I want to say dot after dot, we gave them what do you like. I want to say model, so I want to print model. Let's say print what they're gonna give me, like, because there's no data on it, null. It is null. They give me null because we didn't specify any data yet on that. But if you want to add data to it, you could add it right here, default data. That would be a default data something. You could add something like default data, and now we printed my print. You see, we print diff right here because we just see right here. Let's use it back our so that way like we access our property. So on one thing right now, this one is when there's a no constructor that define, Java will create the default constructor. This is a default constructor, just constructor, make sure you know it. But we want to add to initialize one. If you want to add, we use same name, just name and the body and the condition parameter and the body we give them. First, let's say we want to use again same thing. We want to use same name. You could use different name, that doesn't cause any issue. I want to use, and I want to initialize it back to this keyword repair to our current object. This is my current object. This means the car property. I want to use this property, the car property. This dot make, this dot there. I want to make all this. Let's say I want to use this dot model. That means this car dot model. You could, instead of this, you could say car dot model. Car dot model. let me initialize it and save some time. Now we initialized our constructor, so we want to use that one right now. If you come right here, see now we don't have a default one, because once we create it, they will not allow us the default one. But if you still want to use default one, we want to create the empty one. But let's not to create it. See what that asking for. They're asking to, because add the C constructor core is undefined. We need to add the argument to it. So the first argument was the first argument was make and model and year. We will add same thing like on a sequence. Make to Toyota and make is Toyota model is let's say, I don't know about the car, I will say Camry something, and I want to add the year is the 2015 something. Okay, you see we don't need to add the integer as a. Now we add it. Let's run now what it's gonna do, because right now they don't wanna get a default value of the model. We using the what do you call the current. We override it. We change it to that one. We could rechange that one to different one. My car. We could modify it, because that's the problem when we modify it right here, which is and instead of that we write him something different like new car something, and named just modify the value to anything. So that would be kind of problem to it, like is not kind of secure, and we just want, if you want not to happen that stuff, you can change it. And before we do that, I just want to add some more to constructor, and also I want to create some default constructor, and I want to like instead not only I want to create empty constructor too, because I will use it somewhere. You see, one default, I want to create it not only one. I could create many constructor I want, like I want to create another one which has only model and string to it, like only 2 parameter, and keep doing it like as many you like to. I say I want only this 2. So right now I have a 3 constructor. You could create like scenario, you use different constructor to it, so that's up to you. You could do it like. Now we have a 3 constructor. If you come back to your main one, you could either use right now you could use empty one too. So name them a queue. So now we could see we now using empty one. It doesn't causing any exception. We could use it with 2 value right now. Let's use the 2 value. And now instead of the model we clean up, because this is also the name causing issue. So you see everything is fine. So if you want, like you could reference it. This is they call them reference. Once you're using like that, we just reference it from the instance we create, from the core object that we create. The instance I want to use from the core, I want to pick specific. Like I want to reference it the way we reference it on Java. Also we could say from a core I want to use the let's say that we give them something different model, an N model. Say I want this one and an N model. Then we will say what is that? We name this, we pick the name right here, then we use that one and an N. So this is the model, we use that one. see, and if you want a reference to this one, you give them, you say my car, I want this value, this is the first value, second value, this has a name, make sure you know the name of that. So this is the name of that is a make. I want to use the make of the first one. You just take the instance of the object, you put it right here, say this is the make. I wanna, because we just reference it from a model, because there's a make we have. But the problem is we still could change it. We still could modify the we could add any value, like we added to a car right now. If you use again that one, that would be you could change any value this way. But if you don't want it, you want to make it read only, let's make that one private. Then we will so that way nobody will able to anymore. Let's make everything private, nobody able to change it anytime. Let's say if you come right here, that this causes an issue, we cannot change it that way anymore, we cannot write a value to it. So how should we change it? Like, how should we set a value again? Then on that way also we cannot access it like this way, like we cannot access anymore the property, that we make our property read only. So if you make your property read only, then how should we access it? So for that reason, we get like want to read the value and we want to set the value. We will create two functions, they call them reader and getter and setter. Getter and setter is like a middle person. For the security reason, it is fine, and also it is like a middle person that instead you not have a direct access to your property, you need to access it through getter and setter. If you want to set a value to it, you need to use the setter method. If you wanna like read the value, like just wanna know what value is right here, you wanna just read it, then you need to use getter method. So how should we do that? So then let's create the first getter. Just wanna read this value, what value would be passed to that. I want just read it, not to do anything. So if for that we create a getter method. So how we do that? Like we just say public depend of the method, like depend of the property. What is it? If that is string, we return string, because this is a string. We just, instead of void do nothing. They will return, will not return any value. We usually give them a same kind of name, make, get, make. We call them we must say this word with it, get, because that we know is a getter. Get, see, we say get make. So this asking, because that cause issue, because we didn't return anything. You say you must return something. So what we do, we say return. We will return what? Like we will return this property, the make property. So because you just read about modifier, because there's a private modifier. If it's private modifier, this property would be available through this class. That was, once you make it private, this will be, there's a different modifier. You could say final, that would be constant. But I wanna, let's not to go on a final modifier, just focus on a private. And say return, I want this object, again this object, which means the core object dot make. So this refer to the current object dot make. I want to return that. So if you go back to your Java class, if you want to return it, you could say again, like this was the make. Let's say this is Tesla. I want to return object of this car. This end right now, I want name of my instance, get, you see, get make. Now the issue is gone. So run it. Now I get Tesla because it's Tesla. But if I want this one, you could get that one. You let me create all getter for all the object, then I'll come back. Now I have all three my getter method right here. If I want to access any of this one, I could go and change it to whatever I want. I see I have three of them. I want a year, okay, run it to year, because now they give you, this one is for my car. Let's pick that one because this has a 2015. So we just reference it. Right here we're not copying anything, we just giving reference. I wanted it from my car, I want the only 2015. It's saying like the way we give them a correlation name, reference it to a specific on a tree. Right here also we reference it because this working same. You see, now I reference it to 15, so this give me the reference. Read only data. Let's also, if I wanna like this part, if I wanna modify the value, how should I do it? So this part I will do it through setter method. Let me create the first one. How we create that one? Let's create one setter, like we say public, this time not private, public. I don't know why this method is coming. You could say just void, not to mention anything. So let's create public. We don't return anything, we just want to create a method that change the. We don't want to return anything, so also we must say set word. So that way we will first one we will say make, and also we need to add some parameter. This is the string make. You could name it anything, there's nothing to do with the property. And this you wanna add a value to my object, current object dot make. So this value, whatever we pass through set, that will pass to my what do you call it, my private property, which I have it on my class. If you come right here, let's and let's create let's change the value of this object instance of object which I have car, this, and say dot set. See set make. Now I need to pass it. If you pass null, this value will make null, but I wanna say high. I wanna add like a Highlander to it. Highlander. We need to pass it on a Highlander. Anyways, let's print that one. We don't want to print that one, we need to print the make dot make. See, this way we'll say dot get, we will get it, we read it through right here. So now we say Highlander, which we could modify the value. So let me add all the setter to my class, all of three, then come back. And also we can add the what do you call method to our class, core class. Call them, let's say public method, public void. I just want to print everything. So whatever I have, I want to print it. Make model and here this had to be concatenate each one, but this would cause issue because one is a string. Let's run it, you will see. Make model here, and we will print this one. Make model in here because this has every dot. You will save what we call them. Let's say print detail. Print D. Print D. Say Highlander.com, we need to give them a space. How you want to provide them space? We give them a, by this way, just add space to it. So this is the method. You could do Islander Camrio 2015. So this is the method we have it. So what else class? We could inherit another class. Let's instead of inheritance, let's just pass, like once you create this class, let's pass this class as an object to your method, to printing method. Once you say core, you pass the object of the core as argument to your method. You just give them any name. Once you give them any name, so right now we have a core. If you wanna, here would be here dot model, we reference it, and next time let's clean everything. Let's clean this one too. This only asking the object of core. Right now they're asking that you see the argument to match the print. So what right here they're asking for the year. So what we do, we need to add the argument. This argument also had to be object. We cannot add simple, like let's say 2015. It's not gonna work. So what we add, we need to add this one because this has a year. So they're gonna reference it my core dot year. Then that would be 2015. When you pass that one, it's fine. Now when you print it, you only print that one, 2015. So we just pass the our class, the one we created as argument, to our